So I found a really big stick. And through using persistence, I figured out how to cut it in half using a very small chainsaw. Here I'm going after it with an angle grinder, and it's got a cut saw shaping disc attached to it. It's really effective at getting rid of wood. I brought out my DeWalt cordless angle grinder with basically a hook and loop head. Now some fun on that. I have it rigged up with a foam interface between the hook and loop surface and the sandpaper. This makes it exceptional for sanding basically curvy surfaces, for sanding anything that's not flat. It's actually something that's more used in the automotive world like bodywork, but it applies great to power carving. Here I brought back out the Bosch angle grinder and I attached the cut saw extreme shaping dish. Pretty much if you want to make a bowl or any type of concave surface with an angle grinder and wood, that is your go-to. Works great for this. doing this sort of thing, I found it's best if I use my hands to figure out what's going on with it, where I need to take things down. Right here I'm using my trusty Harbor Freight belt sander and making a flat surface on the bottom of the bowl or tray, platter, whatever you want to call it. Container, vessel, object. But making a flat spot. And we got our good old DeWalt angle grinder back out with a much smaller sanding head and also once again that hook and loop foam interface. It's just the thing for doing this. And here's a shot of my gut. My cameraman's really out of control. You know, he had the darn camera strapped to his head. Anyways, here I am, using Starbond black super glue to fill in some of the cracks. The cracks were at a point where, like, I thought about using resin, but didn't feel like waiting 2 days for it to dry. So, super glue it is. Now, something to keep in mind if you're sanding the dried super glue is you want to have real good ventilation, dust collection, all that stuff, because you don't want to breathe this crap in when it's solid and turned to dust. Really not good for you. And here I had to get the really tiny spout for the really tiny cracks. I decided to get the DeWalt back out because, well, I needed just a bit more power and the little Bosch wasn't doing it. Here I'm water popping it. That raises up the grain. It helps you to bring out those little divots and things like that in the wood. But it's what you do before you go into the more finer sanding. And it's a nice preview of what it'll look like when you got a finish on it. And I'm just getting the good old hand sandpaper, knocking down the edges of the bowl. We're not going for straight lines with this thing. In fact, I don't think I used a single measuring device in the whole process, which is kind of a fun way to do woodworking sometimes. Now here I brought out of course, the trusty Bosch sander, and I've got that foam interface on there. But this is where I take it from 120 grit to about 320. Just pretty it up. Now this right here is a 600 grit abrasive buff. I love going over things with this because it gets rid of all of the dust from the sanding. Helps to give you a nice finish. It helps the finish to actually get in the wood and not be caught up in sawdust. Here, this is a Scotch-Brite, like between coats pad, basically to get rid of any dust. And of course, got to burn my initials into it. I made the darn thing, so I'm putting my name on it. And here, my favorite finish, Watco Butcher Block. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That is pretty. And also, the nice thing is it's food safe, so if food does end up in it, well, no worries. planning on selling this at an upcoming craft fair. Pricing, I've sold, a lot of these before. You can range anywhere from $30 to $50, roughly. It kind of depends on your market, whether you're in a city, a town, that sort of thing. They're fun to make. If you're competent, you could probably make one in about 3 hours. This took me about 6, so yeah. Anyways, if you made it this far and liked the video and got something useful out of it, please give me a like and subscribe if you would be so kind.